Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you so much for joining me this week for this new edition, and thank you so much to miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show. Every week I thank Miskatonic Books, but really, oh my goodness, what a privilege it is to have miskatonicbooks.com sponsoring this show, making this show possible and available. I know so many viewers appreciate being able to see the new esoteric and occult books that have been published every week, week in, week out, and miskatonicbooks.com make that possible. So thank you so much. Just if you don't know miskatonicbooks.com, just go ahead and visit their page. There are links down in the description, as is going to be the case for everything that you see in this video, of course. And you'll be able to see on miskatonicbooks.com some books that are exclusive, books that haven't been available anywhere else. There's this Azoth Press, and I'll tell you a little bit more about those in a second. But they also bring in books from abroad, books that have been published by small independent book publishers, esoteric and occult book publishers, that would cost a lot of money to ship in from abroad if you were to order them directly from the publishers. But miskatonicbooks.com very usually order in large bulks of these books, and you can order them directly through there if you live in the US and cut out a big part of the shipping costs. And of course, if you live abroad, miskatonicbooks.com are still very interesting because they scout for difficult to find books. They keep an eye out for books that have been out of print for a long time, very beautiful, esoteric and occult books that have been out of print for a long time, and they will have available some copies very regularly of these books that are completely out of print and very rare, and so yeah, that's really exciting. So I'm just showing you the front page over here, of course, but you can see for yourself that there are many areas in the shop and so on, including a new area for courses. Now, I want to draw your attention as my first item this week to this Aphorisms on Astrology and Magic by John Dee. So John Michael Greer is bringing us a new translation and commentary on John Dee's Propadeumata Aphoristicas. So let's have a little read on the description of what exactly that is. But actually, before that, let me just click on a couple of these to give you an idea of the inside of the book. You can definitely see the Monas Hieroglyphica of John Dee over here. That's seven planetary sigils in one, and then getting an idea of the kind of editorial look of the inside of the book, looking very beautiful, and an idea of one or two of the aphorisms over here. If you click on some of the extra pictures, extra images, let's have a quick read of the description. Very Azoth Press. So Azoth Press is Miskatonic Books' own imprint. Very proud to announce a new translation of John Dee's Propaedumata Aphoristica by best-selling author and renowned magician John Michael Greer. The importance of this astrological text with regard to the evolution and tradition of today's practicing magician cannot be overestimated. This new updated translation is truly a must-have in every practicing magician's library. From the introduction, John Dee needs no introduction to the modern occultist, the court astrologer and wizard of Queen Elizabeth I, the owner of the best library in Elizabethan England, the author of historic works on mathematics and navigation, one of the many secret agents employed in Elizabeth's government in its struggle for survival against foreign and domestic enemies. He was also the co-creator of the Enochian system of magic, one of the most widely practiced methods of ceremonial work in modern occultism, and the author of the enigmatic Monas Hieroglyphica, one of the most cryptic works in the history of alchemy, which I recently reviewed, by the way, in its Ouroboros Press incarnation. Very, very lovely edition with a nice commentary. So it may startle readers then to learn that his first significant book on occult topics remains nearly unknown in today's occult community. Nonetheless, this is the case. The Propedeumata Aphoristica, first published in 1558 and brought out a new revised edition in 1568, is that work. Dee wrote it as a convenient guide to the fundamental principles of astrology and astrological magic. Begins and ends with Dee's magical and alchemical emblem, the hieroglyphic monad, in a series of 120 aphorisms, ranging in length from a single sentence to more than a page. He sets out the worldview of the Renaissance astrology and magus with conciseness that has rarely been equaled. I don't usually read the entire description of books, but this really is a very exciting description indeed, and this is one of those books that I know that many people will already have in their pre-order cart and will have their finger ready to press the buy button before I even finish this segment. Shipping expected to ship until May 31st. 2025, limited edition hardcover of only 650 hand-numbered copies, so 152 pages, 6 by 9 inches, 2-color printing, sewn in ribbon marker. Lovely, lovely stuff indeed. And what a beautiful cover for it, right? Very, very lovely. Good stuff. There is a sale on, folks, at Black Letter Press, and what a sale. Black Letter Press are actually moving locations by the end of the month, I believe, and they are doing a big sale on all of their stuff, up to 50% on some of those books, actually. So you may have seen me reviewing the Hypnerotomachia Polyphily quite recently, and that's already got quite a large markdown on there. But everything up to, from the Ascoetia at €38. Beautiful edition. If you've seen my review of it, and just need to load more. Anyway, the prices have literally just been shared, the sale prices. So yeah, do go and check that out. Oh my goodness, William Blake's For the Sexes, The Gate of Paradise, which I put among my 10 most exciting releases of last year, actually. Love that book, this particular edition of that book so much. And of course, you may very well find my own Hidden Paths. If you look carefully, you'll be able to find the second edition of Hidden Paths over here for €51, as well as a first edition of Hidden Paths in purple there for just €66.50. So go and check out Black Letter Press. Before I move on to the next section, worth mentioning that Anathema Publishing have got a couple of sale items on as well, so worth going to check out there just to see if the book that you've been waiting to see if it's on sale yet is actually on sale. Okay, let's move on to the 32 Keys. Of course, David Hymes-Smith is releasing a new book at the end of the week, Erasing the Name, The Devotional Fire of Ensof. I just wanted to draw your attention to it over here. If we just click on that buy button, we'll let that load. Perception can be offered as a prayer, and the sense of transcendent perceptibility can be received as its sacrament. In this exchange, Ensof is the main consideration, as its potency is expressed through you and as you. The named identity is what is raised. This portal to nowhere is love in itself. Loving as an action dissolves there. What remains is free. So, you may know David Hymes-Smith as a non-dualist Kabbalist, and this really does sound like the culmination of all of that. Erasing the Name introduces the reader to a mode of devotional contemplation that invites the mind into immersive surrender with an all-consuming love of the divine mystery. The work builds esoteric knowledge, Da'at, through a maze of diagrams and poetic passages, so what is gathered can be released within what Kabbalists call En Sof, the infinite. This opens a doorway that allows discursive consciousness to dissolve into the sublime expanse that fills and surrounds all phenomena. There we are. The book is in fact available already. I guess it was at the end of the week when I originally saw this, but by now it does seem like it's available to purchase. So Erasing the Name, the new book by David Heimsmith. Just a little reminder, of course, that David Heimsmith does release quite a few books quite regularly, but it must be reminded that all of this is exegesis from years and years of contemplation that has led him to the point where, okay, I think I'm ready to share this knowledge with the world. And now he's working as fast as possible to get all the information that he has built up over those years of contemplation to share that with us, which is absolutely amazing, and gives us a little insight into why, how, in fact, the rapid succession of book releases. Right? If you don't know about David Heimsmith, go and check out any of my reviews. I've reviewed many of his books. Really extraordinary stuff. He's well known for his esoteric cartography, the diagrams, beautiful black and white diagrams that he uses to map out these contemplative states and experiences. There we are. Okay, folks, let's move on to a release by Troy Books. Piercing the Veil has been out for a little while in some of its forms, performing tarot divination while in the lunar astral realm. It's a really nice premise, right? Embark on a journey of mystical revelation with Piercing the Veil. Oscar Tusk, a seasoned practitioner of the old craft, invites the reader to delve into the depths of traditional witchcraft and unlock the secrets of the tarot like never before. Yes, to be noted possibly that Troy Books do specialize in traditional witchcraft. Within these pages, you'll discover the transformative power of tarot divination as it transcends earthly realms and ascends to the lunar astral. Guided by the profound symbolism of the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, you'll explore the hidden mysteries of the subconscious and navigate the ethereal landscapes of intuition and dreams. Drawing upon ancient wisdom and modern insight, this book illuminates a path to spiritual ascent through the archetypal images of the tarot. Paying homage to the creative genius of Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite, you'll uncover the timeless truths embedded within their iconic deck. All right, if we scroll down a little bit, we'll be able to see that the paperback edition is now available, as well as the hardback edition. Now, the new hardback editions are pretty much print on demand books with a glossy, dust cover, of course. Right. There are a few remaining special editions, so if you were hoping to pick up one of those, now is definitely the time to do so. Good news from Strange Attractor. Delinquent Elementals, a pagan news anthology edited by Phil Hine and Rodney Orpheus. This seems to be available in a couple of different formats, a hardcover and a paperback. It's available already. I've actually seen Richard Kaczynski holding up his copy on Facebook, proudly displaying his copy. So let's see, it collects some of the finest articles, news reports, interviews, and humour that appear in this singular publication, providing a fascinating glimpse into the British occult and pagan countercultures of the 1980s and early 90s. This collection, newly annotated by the editors, contains a plethora of essays, commentary, and a wide selection of evolving knowledge and insight into occult practices, while the list of contributors is a veritable directory of new wave British occultism. Delinquent Elementals reveals how magical practitioners interacted with their wider culture, political activism, and the struggle for LGBTQ+ rights and recognition. The zine's 36 issues also charted the arrival and devastating impact of the satanic ritual abuse panic as it landed on UK shores and began a systematic assault on its occult communities. If you're interested in that particular time period, the satanic panic, this gives you a direct insight into how it was experienced at the time, right? So this historical zine is now getting a collected works kind of thing, right? Put together by Phil Hine and Rodney Orpheus. Very, very nice indeed. So yeah, head over to strangeattractor.co.uk to pick up your copy of Delinquent Elementals. Good. There is a pre-sale happening through Gallo Glass Books. Their latest book, you may remember my talking about Monad in one of these segments, and well, this is their next book. It's Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition by Francis A. Yates. This is 222 zlotys. I don't know what that's going to be exactly in dollars, but around, I'm going to say probably around $50. So let's see, plus shipping, of course. So that is I believe the book is already in the public domain, but it's just going to be a nice modern edition of Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition. Let's see, it's one of the definitive books on Renaissance occult studies. The book this book not only serves as a great introduction to the intellectual milieu of the Renaissance, but it also bridges the gap between the late Renaissance magical thinking and the dawn of Enlightenment rationality. You're getting a vague idea, a general idea here of what you might find within. Definitely worth checking out the table of contents over here. I'm sure you'll see some plenty of names that you recognize. If you don't recognize those names, this is definitely a book to give you a closer look at those, and it would definitely be a good idea to know about some of these names in the context of magical studies. And if you do know these names, then you already know what you're looking at here, and you may be very excited. There we go. Very nice. And you can tell that it's actually quite nice. I mean, the fact that it's not just black and white, but color printed on the inside, it could be quite nice. Who knows? Very pretty, very pretty. So those classic Giordano Bruno sigils there. All right. A couple of books that I spotted on Amazon this week. First of all, the Guided Numerology Workbook, a beginner's guide. Understand yourself and unleash your potential through your numbers. I think that if you're watching my channel, I'm guessing you know what numerology is, but you don't necessarily have to be an expert. You may be curious about numerology. You might be looking for a kind of a hands-on way of becoming familiar with numerology. And and this seems like a very pretty practical book, right? Calculate your life path number. So plenty of stuff for you to do yourself, just to get some insight into the use of numerology, and maybe learn along the way. That looks pretty cool, right? Quite nice. Then there's Spells for the Apocalypse, Practical Magic for Turbulent Times, an empowering ritual guide for living through turbulent times from a trauma recovery practitioner and practicing witch. So this is by Carmen Spagnola. So witchcraft has the capacity to transform your life. In the spell book and ritual guide, Carmen Spagnola offers practical ways to incorporate magic into your daily life to support your emotional well-being. Again, I'm guessing that many of you looking at this book already know whether this is exactly what you've been looking for, or just simply not for you. Naturally, all the books that I'm showing you today from the Amazon page, just as every week, have got links down below which are Amazon associate links, and if you use those links to access Amazon, to actually get yourself to Amazon before putting anything into your basket and then going through to purchasing what's in your basket, anything that's in your basket at the time, if you reached Amazon through one of my links, then I get a little commission, and I really appreciate everyone who takes the trouble to use my links. So yeah, thank you very, very much for those of you who do that. So yeah, let's see. Spells for the Apocalypse will teach readers how to counteract unconscious behavior patterns, re-establish stability, and restore resilience during periods of personal upheaval through a series of straightforward spells and 5-minute rituals. Whether you're new to witchcraft or an experienced practitioner, this beautifully illustrated treasure trove of practical magic is the key to healing and growing through the restorative power of witchcraft. There we are. So lots of, I would imagine many people will find this very exciting. Lots of different formats, of course, the audiobook, the Kindle version, hardcover, and also an audio CD, it would seem. Okay, good. There's also this one over here, a Psychic's Handbook. Now, Llewellyn have actually sent me a copy of this, and I'm really looking forward to diving into this next week. So you'll be able to see my full review of it very shortly. A Psychic's Handbook, Methods and Advice for Communicating with Spirits. What particularly caught my attention here, and what actually made me ask Llewellyn if they would send me a copy, was this: pinpoint your psychic strengths, discover a variety of divination methods, and hone your spirit communication skills with this guide to creating your unique psychic handbook. Oh dear, did I not put my phone on silent before starting? Instead of using a cookie cutter approach, Michelle Welsh shows you how to build a personalized system for psychic development. This speaks to me. If you know me, you know that my whole thing is that we are all individuals, and as individuals, we cannot be expected to have the same magic, because the main ingredient in our magic is ourselves. So yeah, how can we have the same magic as the next person, you know? So the cookie cutter approach cannot work. I'm very excited about this book, very, very excited. She shares what she wishes she'd known from the beginning, guides you in finding your purpose as a psychic, and gives you the tools to help others find their purpose. There we go. So it presents exercises in every chapter, as well as quizzes and assessments throughout, making it easy to focus on your specific gifts and areas of interest. There we are. So that's Psychic's Handbook. I'll give you a full review when I've actually read the entire book. Very, very excited for it, though. Sphere and Sundry have got a new series out, the third, excuse me, the third Deacon of Capricorn, and it looks like one that many people are going to be excited about. The Sovereign Throne is the subtitle of this, series, and of course we're starting off with all of the stuff, right? All of the materia, the talismanic materia that Sphere and Sundry have produced for this particular series. But yeah, it does seem to be quite closely associated with sovereignty and actually money. So those of you who are looking for talismanic materia for attracting a little bit of income, this could very well be one for you to look into. What I recommend is to scroll down all the way to Caitlin's write-up, right, in which she describes exactly what went into the process. As always, this is always a case with Sphere and Sundry. There's always a full description of how the process of making this series went, what went into it, why it was chosen to happen in the way that it did, any kind of exciting synchronicities that happened at the time, and so on and so forth. But most importantly, it gives you an idea, a true idea of what this series can do for you. So yeah, go and check out the full review, the full write-up, the full explanation of this third decan of Capricorn, which is a very, very exciting one, and I think possibly one of the most exciting for the widest public recently. So very, very cool stuff. Yeah, if you're watching this, it's just very likely to be relevant to you. There we are. Okay, and just a reminder about Vision in the Desert, masterclass in Enochian magic with Lon Milo Duquette. The reason why I'm bringing it up a second time, I already told you about this exceedingly exciting class by Lon Milo Duquette happening on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of March. So very, very, very soon, right? Just a few weeks' time, just a couple of weeks' time it's starting. The reason I'm bringing it up again is because on Sunday I am breaking my no reviews rule and I'm going to be reviewing Lon. I'm so excited, very, very excited. I've had a pretty hectic past few weeks, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow sitting down, working out some great questions, and then sitting down on Sunday to ask Lon all those pressing questions, and so as soon as the video is edited, of course, I'll make it available so you can check it out. I'll be asking him a little bit more about this class, right? This Vision in the Desert Masterclass in Enochian Magic that's actually happening in Joshua Tree at the beginning of March, right there. So that's really very exciting indeed. Okay, links to where you can buy the course, of course, are down below. Do be aware that it is an in-person course, and you'll be expected to be in Joshua Tree at the time of the course, right? Joshua Tree, which is just a little bit east of Los Angeles. Good. Then we've got an exciting post by Jack Grail. I have been taking Jack Grail's PGM Praxis Part 2 course all year, and it just lives up to all of Jack Grail's other works. But I wanted to let you know, because there's a new cohort that's about to start. So if you wanted to join, you can join now. And I know that the title, PGM Praxis Part 2, implies that it's best if you've taken Part 1. If you've taken Part 1, you'll know that each class is its own thing. Jack takes a spell, gives you a context for the way that spell was originally done, why it was done like that, does a deep dive into the technologies of that particular PGM spell, the Greco-Egyptian Magical Papyri spell, and gives you a way in which you can do it in a modern setting, in a way that is still drawing from that late antiquity magic that was so potent and that still is so potent. and bring it into the 21st century in a way that is ethical, but without losing the raw power of the original spell. So fascinating stuff. And so I just wanted to say, if you've seen part one, you'll know that you can take part two without taking part one, because each lesson is its own thing. What's wonderful as well is that many people seeing that there are like 47 classes in this. It's like it's a year-long thing. And or 50 actually, 50 classes. You'll know that you can, if you don't have time to watch the spell every single week, you can skip 1 or 5 and it's okay, and you can come back to it years later. You'll just still have access to that course, and you'll just go, do you know what, I could pick up a spell maybe. Okay, let's have a look at it. Are there any that I haven't watched yet? Yep, this one, lovely. And just dive in and learn something new once again from Jack's incredible insights into the PGM magic from his own personal, very powerful practice. So yes, I strongly recommend this one. If I had to pick, in fact, between 1 and 2, I might even say that 2 trumps number 1 by a little bit. I enjoyed number 2 even more than I enjoyed number 1, which I already enjoyed 100%. So there you go. If that's not a recommendation, I'm not sure what is. You can see Alex Eth agrees with me. There we go. And many other people agree as well. Right? Lots and lots of various people giving their thumbs up to Jack Grail's PGM Praxis II, The Kingdom. 47 actually. 47 so far. I guess there might be 3 left to go this year for part 1. There we are. So yeah, just hop over to the link that I've left below, and you can click on join. This is the price if you're paying in one bulk go, of course, but it is you can spread it out over 12 months, and it becomes much more affordable. The best, in my opinion, the best value for money ratio that you can really get by getting a course in magic nowadays. That's my honest opinion. There we go. And then finally, I very often have a board game of the week. I don't have a board game of the week for this week. It's I'm just very excited that the Fighting Fantasy Solo Adventure game books that I kind of grew up reading are back in print through this Kickstarter. Ian Livingstone, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone are collaborating once again to make these original books available to us, which is very, very cool. Just all with the original artwork and with a slightly larger format for a more comfortable reading experience. I just thought some of you watching might recognize these books and might be excited to have these books for your own children. I think it's pretty awesome. There we go. That's what I've got for you this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I am pretty much done with the craziness in my life right now. I'm home. My dear guest has also left us, who was with us for the past 4 or 5 days. So I'm available once again for one-to-one conversations. If you want to have a one-to-one call with me, you'd like me to read your tarot, you'd like to ask me for some recommendations, some book recommendations, some recommendations on how to bring your spiritual or magical practice forward, your particular situation, then yes, the links to have a one-to-one video chat with me can be found down below. If you'd like to support the channel, then the best way to do that is by joining Patreon. From $2 a month gives you access to the Foolish Fish Discord server, with over 300 different topics that you can discuss with lots and lots of other Foolish Fish members. What else? Yeah, do leave hit the like button, as they say, and and if you haven't subscribed yet, do hit the subscribe button and the little bell to make sure that you get those notifications for when I put out a new video. And let me know if I've missed anything this week. Did I miss any big releases that you're very excited about and that I could talk about next week potentially? Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.